Starting the recording. Hey everyone, this is episode 389 of the OotiniCast, being recorded on June the 2nd of 2020, and we'll be getting going on the actual 2nd of 2020. We'll get going on the actual podcast here shortly. We just need to get a few things prepared. This is the raw version of the show with all flubs left intact. This goes out on YouTube as well, and then the audio is cleaned up and put out as a proper podcast, and that will go out tomorrow. All right, so since we have just a moment here, I'm going to tweet out that we're live. Cool. All right, got that tweeted. I'll just retweet it on my personal account real quick. And good. All right. I have not gotten my Audacity rolling yet. Let me do that. There it is. Test, test, test. Looks pretty good. I think I need to bring my chair in a little closer though. Test, test, test. All right, looking good. You guys have your Audacity going as well?
Yeah, I've got mine going.
I do too.
Excellent. All right. Do you have anything else that you need to do, or are we ready to go?
Punch it.
I'm fine.
Okay. And Dek, did you want to talk about the guild stuff at the top of the hour? I did add Ducky's email. It's under the email section towards the end after the news, so we can talk about it that then, or we can go over it at the top of the show, whichever you prefer.
We can sandwich. I was going to include stuff about the Jar Jar during my week, since that's pretty much all I've done because of things.
Okay.
So, yeah,
and then we'll talk about the future one at the end. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll do it that way. I like that. All right, let me get back to the top of the show notes then. And if you guys are ready, we'll get going. All right. Going in 5. Some people are already talking, which is nice. Okay, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that is surprised at the amount of support for that oily Dianoga. This is episode 389, being recorded on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, Dr SWTOR. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Chill, how's it going today?
Going great, and I'm happy that we have our guild leader back today, Dek. Hey, Dekion, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
And so, Dekion, what you been up to, and how's the guild going?
The guild's been going great, especially during this pandemic.
Right.
Nothing like participation due to lockdown.
Yeah.
With the Double XP event going, we've got a lot of players that are coming back into the game, or just kind of getting reactivated, which is really awesome. Due to that, we've got a lot of guys that have been getting up to Oricon and kind of getting stuck, at the Dread Fortress mission, because
it's hard to pug, isn't it?
Finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easily puggable, so it's nice that the guild's been running those a lot lately.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks we ran Dread Fortress and Dread Palace 2 Fridays in a row, and then on the imp side, and then now we've swapped over to the pub side to give those characters a chance to get their Tauntaun mount.
Nice.
And, so yeah, last Friday we did Dread Fortress, which honestly, Chill, I can't believe how easy that op is.
Yeah, compared to how it used to be.
How it used to be, and even compared to other 16-person story mode operations like Explosive Conflict, where it seems like it takes 10 guys to kill a trash mob. and with Dread Fortress, I can definitely see why there are videos of 4 people doing it on an 8-man or 8 people doing it on a 16-man.
Right. Yeah, and usually I think we did it mostly with like 15 out of 16. It's like we didn't really have to have all 16 to get those done either, which was nice. Yeah, and it felt good tanking it. Felt very familiar. Tank-wise, it was kind of similar. There's a few... I think they did drop a few mechanics over the harder versions and over the past story mode versions as well, but it felt pretty good. It was fun to get to drag the Cyber Rancor around under the magnet. That's always one of my favorite tank activities to do. That's like one of my favorite tank bosses, just because I don't know, it's always amusing, and you do have to do it right, to get it to make sure that everyone gets the chance at the extra damage on the boss and all that. So it feels good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just a relaxing time.
Yeah. And what else have you been doing when we're not doing Jar Jar Joyride?
I've been leveling a couple of more characters. I always need some more assassins and shadows and sentinels and marauders. So I've been spending time doing that. Except this time I'm kind of just doing it for the story, which is kind of weird during a double XP event. I'm
right.
level 27 by the time I finish Korban or Typhon. So, but I'm just sort of enjoying it. I haven't done the stories in a long time because when we've had past XP events, I've always done the bug hunt or something to speed through 3 or 4 hours to get to level 70 or 75. And so it's just nice to kind of sit back and take in everything. It's a beautiful game, and BioWare did an excellent job in it. So why not enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know you've long had like all the stories and stuff done. So is there any particular reason you're choosing these ones? Like, are you trying to see like different versions of the story, or do you need like more gear for that particular class, for end level, or what was your choices for these particular characters?
I just really like those stories. So I just wanted to kind of take a second look at them. It's been a couple of years since I actually did the story, and just wanted to kind of take a look.
Nice. And are you playing with Fee most of the time as well?
She's in school. So,
okay, so she's been real busy. Yeah.
Yeah, see her during the Jar Jar.
Well, that's cool.
I would like to kind of give a shout out. I got my new mug today. My new Some Good Things mug. Some Good News mug. So, which is just in time because of everything that's going on. And actually have some really good news today. Our deck officer, Kitty Kisses, it's his birthday. So I'd like to give him a shout out and tell him that, you know what, that's some good news.
Yeah, it looks like Kitty's in the chat, so happy birthday, Kitty. That's great.
Happy birthday, Kitty.
And yep. And Ducky's wishing happy birthday too. Very nice. And Kitty heard us. So that's great. And is there anything else going on with the guild? Like, besides being busy, would you say that it's also growing? Like new players are being added, stuff like that, or just mostly our new alts being added, that sort of thing?
Honestly, as you're well aware, we don't do any recruiting.
Right. It's just from the podcast. So
right.
Yeah, it's just from that.
Between you and Doc and Kitty and some streamers, that's our entire revenue of new players. Mm-hmm. And I would say that you guys have been doing a damn fine job over the last few months. We've got a lot of new faces. I'll log in and I won't recognize anyone, and not even their legacy name, which is kind of nuts because I feel like I know pretty much everybody.
Right.
We have decided to move our conquest goal to the large yield.
Nice.
And we've made that for the last month or so. It also helps that if you cough, you get a conquest point. So.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? All the mundane things that give you 5,000 points.
Oh yeah, I have I learned that if you get a piece of really crappy gear, like 264, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something really, really low. Your amplifiers only cost 5,000 to change them. So kind of a pro tip is to, take off all your gear, get some armor, get as low as gear as you can, and then use that amplifier to get your conquest points.
Right. Yeah, it's really nice when it, and that's like a daily one, I believe, isn't it, for the amplification change?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah. So
between that and sending your companion out to sell, gray items,
right.
It doesn't take very long to get conquest these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been in my banking alt, who I've been leveling inside her stronghold, and she started at 56, and now that conquest is adding XP ever since I noticed that, like probably just a day or so after it was actually live, it was like, okay, I put XP gear on her, gave her an XP boost, and we're in double XP at the moment, and she's now 75. So and all I do on hers, I do the decoration, I do the gift giving, I have some gray gear in her own personal storage. She just takes out one piece and sends them to sell the gray stuff. I give a gift. I said that one. We do the amplifier. Yeah, and it's amazing. She's also getting conquest this way as well. It's pretty crazy. Now that she's 75, I have her in just trash 306 gear, no set bonuses or anything, just to make sure that she has 306. And so anytime she gets a renown box or that she finishes conquest or whatever, it's going to mean a few more tech points, basically. Yeah, so that's been good too.
Yeah, tech fragments are another one of those things that I kind of wish they would raise the cap on again. I don't know how many times before or during a Jar Jar we've got to wait on pretty much 15 people to run to Kaizyken or go buy a new mount or a new pet with their tech fragments. I personally have 149.
Yeah,
I was just going to say I have 149 of those.
Yeah.
Just in my legacy bay, because it's like, I need to get,
I'm at the cap. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hurry up.
That's the easy way to do it. Yeah.
I actually started playing the Kaizyken slot machine last week.
Mm-hmm. And, just like I have been.
Just started buying the random gear, and I think I got down to 400 tech fragments, and it didn't take very long. I was back up to 6,000.
Yeah, it goes pretty quickly. It
really does.
Yeah. Is there anything special that the guild needs? Like, I've noticed, like, for a while we had like the guild needs command encryptions, and you ask for those on one side, and maybe you're asking for engineering on the other side. Right now, the guild messages haven't been asking for anything for a little while. Is there anything that I should be like looking at for when I open those conquest boxes, or does it really matter? Do we have enough of everything, pretty much?
Honestly, we were really pushing so we could get all of our perks opened, and we did that several months ago, and that's when I stopped asking.
Okay.
Probably the biggest help is if you do want to pull out an encryption and sell it on the GTN and then donate the credits to the guild, that would probably be the biggest help.
Oh, we're a little credit shy, huh? Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Perks are expensive. They add up after a while.
Yeah, they really are. You look at one and it's like, oh, this one's close to, you're spending 5 to 10 million credits a week sometimes if you're going for those bonuses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's expensive. Okay, I'll keep that in mind too, because I've been donating decos, and I did pull out I think it was 40 command encryptions, and I gave 20 to each guild and stuff like that, just because it's like they've just been building up. But I didn't realize that we needed more credits, so I will keep that in mind.
Well, the encryptions are interesting because they land in your material stash, and you never see them.
You never see them again anywhere.
You get 8 people through Conquest, or 8 players through Conquest, and they never see their encryptions. And then one day they're looking through their materials, and all of a sudden they're like, holy crap, I have 50 of them or 60 of them. Sell those. Even if you don't donate everything to the guild.
Or
still
if you get 5 of each Dekion and you've done the Gree event a bunch, you can craft a nightmare crystal.
Ooh, what do those do?
It's like steroids for nightmare raiding. It makes the entire Nightmare community look down on you as if you don't know what you're doing. But it gives you a 20% boost to everything.
Oh.
I didn't even think those worked anymore. Are those still even a thing?
Yeah, they still work. They still make people think that you're a scrub. Right. I've never used one, but that's the one. That is really the only personal reason to have an encryption, I think. All the other purposes for them have to do with the guild ship and more of the social aspects of the game.
Right.
Or getting credits.
And we're not really that guild that goes and hangs out on our guild ship. We've done it a couple of times for some contests on, guess that planet or something. But for the most part, we'll meet in somebody's stronghold, or for the duck hunt, we'll meet on a planet or something.
Right. And speaking of, we have a ducky event coming up, and we'll be talking about that at the end of the show. So it's great that the guild's doing well. Is there anything else that you would say that we should do for guild-wise? Hang
in there. What's going on is
stressful.
It's not going to last forever, and we're happy to have you in game. And believe me, SWTOR is not stressful unless you PvP.
Exactly. Awesome. All right, Doc, what you been up to?
I wish I could co-sign what Dekion just said, but I can't. SWTOR is so stressful. I might be playing it wrong though. It's been going okay. I am making a concerted effort to only talk about positive experiences I've had in the game this week. Nice. And so I could talk with you about the PvP I did with Kogus and Scrubland Shad, but according to that rule, I can't talk about that. So I want to just share that our Sunday night raid team is working on veteran mode Revan. And because of just random happenstance, one of our people who do the parkour on the floating rocks to get from floor 2 to floor 3, because in story mode, the blue portal opens up on the floor and everyone steps in, you go straight to the 3rd floor, and everyone that's dead comes back to life. And then you burn Revan and burn the sacrificial sphere, and the fight is over. On veteran mode, the blue portal is still there, but it throws whoever steps on it onto the rocks that are floating around the light. There's a spiral. It's very similar to Dagcron hunting. You do lots of these jumping kinds of things for Dagcrons. And one of our jumpers happened to die on the 2nd floor. And you always want to send up more than one, because if someone has a bad jump, then you wiped and the boss didn't even kill you. So right. I decided I'm a Datacron master. I would love to do it. And I made it. And so, everyone on the team that kind of makes the leadership decisions, they know how much I love doing mechanics, right? If there is a reason for me to DPS as much as I can, but you really need to pick up the laser gun and shoot a Vela or Esni with it, then they're going to tell me to go pick up the laser gun and shoot a Vela or Esni with it. Because that's just, I love being that part of the fight. And so now I get to do parkour every 8 minutes on veteran mode Revan. So 13 or 14 times a night every Sunday. Wow. I get to help us make it to floor 3 so that we can instantly get thrown off the platform and die, and then run it back and do it again. I also had a really fun time doing a 14-man attempt at Nature of Progress last night on story mode. And we made it to the Huntmaster. Is that right? Yes, the Huntmaster. And we got defeated by a BioWare mechanic. It's called glitching mechanics, right? So good job, BioWare. Right. I swear to God, our best pull got ruined by invisible fire.
Oh, man.
And it's really just disappointing because I actually saw the fire for the first time last night. We all exited the phase and came back in, which that fixes this bug. Well, it's a workaround, right? So fixing the bug is something that BioWare has to do. But if you get a pull where everyone just starts dying because there's a fire circle that you can't see, then just exit area, come back in, you'll be able to see it. And I saw it for the first time. It's a you can't miss it. It's got one of those phase yellow kind of circle walls around it.
Mm-hmm.
BioWare really did say like, oh, you can't see it. Look at this. But the thing is, I've done hard mode for months in this expansion cycle already, and I've beaten story mode many times. And last night is the first time I ever saw the mechanic with my eyes.
Right.
So BioWare, please fix it. Like, I'll write a report to you if that's what you need, but if you're listening to UtiniCast, can you fix that? Boss fight should work right. That's a bumper sticker. Boss fight should work right. And I'm also leveling up a power tech, right? She's in the 50 level now. So she's starting to have the moves that I can assemble a rotation around.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm missing two things that do really belong in what a pyrotech does still, but I'm able to get
a fun spec too.
Yeah, this is the first time I've invested energy in it, and just doing a couple veteran modes to grab some levels after raid night, and it's been a lot of fun. Now I'm level 56, so naturally I'm on Balmora, which is really early in the story. But
yeah,
I've been playing mostly story. I think I've done a total of 4 flashpoints with her. So still doing the heroics and doing the class story is enough to, you just get, plus I do have the dark versus light armor because I just feel like I earned that. And so it really does make it fast. Yeah. And it's fun that way, because my goal when I create a character is maybe to see the story, but I've seen Mercenary 5 times at least now. So what I really want is to be able to use this character with my friends. And I don't like level boosts because I feel like there's a lot of psychological learning processes that happen when you only have 3 moves, when you only have 9 moves, when you only have 15 moves. It forces you to use moves and find out, oh, this one's not really useful. Oh, this is how this class does that.
Right.
And it links in what you know about that class with what you know about your other classes that have thousands of hours of experience. And I enjoy that. I don't like having a level 70 character just like that. So that's just my way of connecting with the game. That was my week, Chill. So I want to hear from you, and I also want to know who's with us today.
All right. Well, let's see. AoE Counseling's here. Gator Skull, 1289. Kitty Kisses is here. And again, happy birthday to Kitty. KGSMLD, Merc for Soup, Mojave Narwhal, Peter the Cellcath, Kynex, Arjar's here, Arjar75, Sarly, Squishy Twitchy, Duck here is here, that Duck Sauce, and Tlau. Hey everyone. And yeah, so I've been just hammering my head against trying to get that 4-piece bonus for Flawless Riposte, which is the one that's really hard to get for Guardians and Juggernauts. It's not available on the vendor, and it drops most often from Duxon, and I'm not in a Duxon group. So I've been trying everything I can that has at least a potential to drop that, and I've been trying to do it, and I've been doing it for weeks now, and I've been stuck at 3 of 4. So I finally got frustrated, and so I started an agent. So I'm gonna do the conquest, and I'll get back to them, and I will make sure to keep getting like enough tech points to keep trying, stuff with Kaizyken, do the Kaizyken, lottery and all that. But because it's going to take a while to get that, and I actually do want the 6 set as well, but I'll be able to switch over once I have the 4 set of Flawless Riposte. So anyway, since I'm kind of stuck on that, I finally got tired and kind of burnt out because I was like doing tons and tons of like Hammer Station, tons and tons of PvP. And it was fun, especially the PvP was really fun, but it's like, doing the same thing day after day after day got very samey. So Nick Fury is now just about to finish Act 1. At first I was like, yeah, let's just use double XP and not worry about the other XP boosts or the XP gear. And then like yesterday I was like, no, screw that. So he was like level 24. He was already still doing quite well, just doing story mode, or doing the story and nothing else. He was like level 24 on like the end of Drummond Koss. So he's already kind of ahead of the game. But now he's about to, like I say, he's about to finish Act 1. He just finished Alderaan, and he's level, like, 44. So, yeah, once I popped the XP boost and put the XP gear on, it was, like, kind of crazy. It's kind of fun to do a Nick Fury one. It's kind of mostly light side, but he makes some dark side choices, too, for sure. And, he's like, I made him a cybertech guy and a slicing guy. And then I went with scavenging mostly to go with cybertech. I was kind of thinking, like, well, if I was really going to be cosplay about it, I would probably do like investigation. That would feel very agenty as well. But I was like, do I really want to get my ability to do cybertech by not having, scavenging and maybe running out of, materials along the way and stuff like that? And I was like, nah, let's just stick with scavenging, at least for now. So yeah, that's been fun. He's romancing Kaleo right now, and I think he will probably switch and then romance what's her name? Ensign Temple later on. But it's been really good. I'm pretty happy with how he looks. There was no way to put the eye patch or the scar over the left eye, because the scar in the game is on the right eye, and then the eye patch just also happens to be on the right eye. So at least they match. They're both on the correct side. But yeah, exactly. He's like mirror mode Nick Fury. Although I don't know if back they made some posters like. And Samuel L. Jackson got all mad because they flipped and they mirror imaged him and put the eye patch on the right eye, and he was like really upset about it. Yeah, that was like a year ago or 2 years ago, something like that. So this is like poster version of Nick Fury, but I'm pretty happy with his look. It's not the Nico jacket; it's a very similar one. I think it's called the Scorpion something Scorpion jacket. RA-7 something like that. Scorpion jacket. It's very similar. Only it seems to be a little bit longer, and like the leather effects on like the coat flaps on the back are really good. Like when he runs, it really looks like a leather coat is kind of hitting against his legs and flapping up and stuff like that. It's really kind of cool. And I've been using the Kingpin. It's actually the blaster rifle, not the sniper rifle. I'm finding that even though he's a sniper, and I keep expecting to come up that there'll be an ability at some point where I have to use a sniper rifle. That doesn't seem to be the case. I can just use a blaster rifle if I want. So I've been using the Kingpin sniper or blaster rifle from the Nightlife event, which is going to be coming back fairly soon. It's on the test server and so on, and we know it's coming. I was hoping they would announce like the times for all this, because they're gonna. I'll talk about it more in the news, but pretty soon they're gonna announce like when the swoop bikes are going to be available, and also when the Nightlife will be available, and they haven't quite done it yet. We know it's going to be pretty soon though. Anyway, the Kingpin blaster rifle is essentially a Tommy gun from like the 1920s and all the gangster movies and all that, and it has the round drum on it, ammunition drum on it and everything, and the drum has like a little glowy effect that's just really nice, and when you do like the suppressive fire, it actually sounds like a Tommy gun. It actually goes like that. Oh, that's neat. It's really, really awesome. So it's really perfect. I mean, maybe it's not the most accurate thing for Nick Fury. It should probably be some sleek, high-tech gun. But I'm having too much fun with the Tommy gun, so I'm sticking with that for now. And I gave Kaleo actually a high-tech gun, so he probably, she has the shield gun, and he can have the fun Tommy gun for now. So yeah. Anyway, I've been enjoying that, but I will keep getting. So I now have like 2 Juggernauts and 2 Guardians, and I'm getting Conquest on all of them, so I keep trying to get that four-piece set, and I keep going on that. But it's kind of nice to have a break and also be able to do some just leveling. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Wait, did you say the companion is using the shield gun and Nick Fury is not using the shield gun?
He's using the Tommy gun, yeah, a Kingpin.
But
the
isn't
Kingpin
Shield
one.
the perfect gun for Nick Fury in this game?
Well, I just meant Shield, like Shield, Agents of Shield. Like the one I gave her is not the one with like the hollow shields. Those are pretty cool guns actually. The one I gave her is a very sleek looking like Shield type gun. You know what I mean? Like something you would see a Shield agent use in like the movies. You know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that is a
very expensive and very nice gun. Yes, I don't have that one.
okay.
Yeah, those holographic armor ones are pretty slick. Pretty slick. All right, that'll bring us to the tip of the week. We have 3 tips this week. Well, the first one from Sid, and Sid wrote some stuff and then gets to the tip, and he says, my tip of the week for you guys would be to mention they would be geared towards new players getting into SWTOR during this double XP time. I'd probably recommend that they check out things like SWTORUI.com for already preset UIs, as well as explaining legacy perks like rocket boots and how collections work. One of the best features in the game, in my opinion. Mine too. And yes, rocket boots. We've always recommended that to be the first thing you get in terms of legacy perks. That's like you should be going for that because it's absolutely huge and how much it changes your ability to level up, to move around, and all that. And it's been a while since we've talked about SWTOR UI. Yeah, I think it still has, as far as I know, it still has one of my old UIs up there, and it's actually hasn't changed that much. It's probably almost identical to the one I use now. And yeah, it's nice to have like preset UIs, or at least to give you ideas of like what can be done with the UI as well. It's good stuff. Did you? I'm sorry, Deck. You said something there, but I didn't catch it.
I was just going to say one of my tricks when I'm leveling a low character, or just creating a new character, is to not actually, or to set my my random mount as my rocket boots, and then you don't have a cooldown.
Right. It's nice, yeah, for a little while there. Yep. They kind of altered it a little bit. It doesn't work as well as it used to, but you can still kind of do it, I think. Let's see. And then Sid continues, if you're looking for more of an end-game random or hidden tip that most people probably overlook, there's a quick and easy way to get a level 50 companion. Droid companions like HK51, T701, and so on love the armor maintenance gifts, purple Jawa junk artifact from the Izar Jawa vendor. As most people have either a lot of these purple Jawa junk or can acquire them fast and don't spend them on anything else usually, it's helpful to get these companions up to 50 for no credit cost. That's absolutely true. In fact, I bought a couple of Cartel Market companions. The one I like, I think one's called the Annihilator or something like that. That one looks cooler, but then I ended up using, it's called Q0 or QO. Just because it's dual wield and it does slightly more damage. But yeah, that's exactly what you do. Is I took a bunch of the blue and purple Jawa junk, and I went to the vendors, grabbed the correct type, and yeah, you just give it to them, and it works really, really well. If you happen to have the animal pet companions like a Nexu, Exobor, Act-Dog, or so on, then the purple Jawa junk gift Spice Eric Tongue is also good for those types of companions. And he had a little picture of it, so I included that. I'm getting back into streaming SWTOR soon, and you can find me on twitch.tv/SidXGaming. That's CIDX Gaming. And he's in the guild Death by Design on the Starforge server on the Empire side. They're a progression, rating, and PvP guild of mostly veteran players from launch returning to the game. So that's pretty cool. So thank you, Sid. Yeah, and I absolutely agree that it's a really nice way to do it. There's a few they added there's a few companions who the HKs, but I mean there's a few regular companions who will have some benefit to the Spice Eric Tongue or the armor maintenance ones, but generally, yeah, you should just keep it to those, the Act-Dog, Spice Eric Tongue, and then, the Cartel Market ones, armor maintenance, or the HKs. So there we go. Droid Dreamer, who asked not to be added to the prizes for the contest. He just likes to help people with tips, so thank you, Droid Dreamer. He sent in another one. When playing Hutball, it can be easy to get turned around. Lag spikes and fast-moving action can easily disorient even the most experienced player, and this has happened to me, by the way. So this is really smart. Who hasn't run the ball the whole way to the wrong end zone? Here's a good way to tell what end zone to run to. When you have possession of the Hutball, A beam of light will appear centered on you. The color of the hut ball light beam is your team color, purple or gold. So run it to the opposite colored end zone. There we go. Easy way to figure it out. Now, there are some arrows and stuff like that, but I find that the arrows that they use are a little subtle, and like they kind of glow in like this really slow way, and sometimes you don't see the glow like right away, and it like takes a little time to figure out like, okay, which way am I supposed to go? So that's that is another good way to figure it out. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Droid Dreamer. And then Sinwolf sent one in as well. Let's see. And Sinwolf writes, welcome back to If You Love Companions. My influence set is complete, and it is a nice boost when you're just standing around giving companion gifts. Those percentages really add up. And I've got a nice little gift-giving set as well. It's not all gold, but it's all purple or gold, and it's pretty good. And then I have armor. It only happens on mods, so... in terms of the gift-giving set, remember, so armor all the way down, put mod in each one. Just do a low-level one because it's easy. It's cheaper to re-roll the cheap ones, and they have the same exact modifications on them, or amplifications on them. And then you can also put mods on the weapons, although the only problem with weapons is, they're different ones for different classes. But anyway, so anyway, that works really well. But Sinwolf continues, now I was just wondering about the Taskmaster Armor Set. Is it that big of a deal? Well, I took the 7 pieces, and I have them with armoring and mod both on either 45 or 50 plus presents. Why? Well, because if you're going to build a set of armor for your companion boost, you might as well go all in. Just finished testing to see what the effect was by dueling a guildmate. We both had 50 influence companions. The presents added about 20,000 health to my companion over his. But what about the Taskmaster set? So, the Taskmaster set, by the way, he doesn't mention it here, but is the one that basically reduces the cooldowns of your companions, so they do more damage, more healing, or whatever. So the first duel was Vet, me, versus Nadia, him. And then Vet won with 70,000 health left. And then the second duel is Vet, me, versus Theron, not spelled the dumb way, him. Vet won again, but with only about 35,000 health this time. So it does make a pretty substantial difference. My recommendation, if you're a fan of solo mode stuff, invest the time and credits in a Taskmaster, at least 4-piece, set, and get the presence amplifiers. Companions are already powerful. With this, you can be almost unstoppable. Happy adventuring. So thank you, Sinwolf. And that's pretty awesome. I would say do that one. That one's really good for solo stuff, especially if you're the sort who really likes to just kind of like have your companion go around and do all the damage and just maybe throw him a heal every once in a while or something. It can be kind of fun to do that. Sometimes it's a very relaxing way to play. Not something I've done a ton of, but when I've done it, it's kind of amusing. Just watching Shay Vizsla or whoever just run around and just beat up on people. So I'd say, yeah, Taskmaster would work well for that. The one that I've been using for a lot of solo stuff is the one that, and I forget the name of it offhand, but it's the one where when you kill something, for the next 8 seconds, you get like a 75% movement speed boost, and it also heals you for 20% of your max health. And it sounds incredibly powerful, and it is for solo stuff, but in operations, you're just not killing that much stuff, or you're not getting the last hit anyway. And the same in war zones. I mean, you're fighting a lot, but actually getting the last hit happens, but it's not like super, super common. So, you'll get a few boosts that way, but it wouldn't necessarily be the ideal way to go. But when you're soloing, and it can happen every 8 seconds, and you're doing, and you're fighting, even if your companion's on damage, you'll get tons of last hits anyway. And yeah, it's like, it just keeps you topped up. You're running around with that 75% boost. It's crazy. So that's another way to go. But yeah, I appreciate Sinwolf. Thank you. So we now know a little bit more about the Taskmaster set. So by random allotment, the winner is Sid. So congratulations, Sid. You're the winner of a Ton Fawn or M83R droid or M2B9 droid code, courtesy of BioWare, and a new OotiniCast provided Cartel Market pack from the latest shipment. And if you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show. And that will bring us to the Mind Trap. Doc?
All right, so a couple weeks ago, the SWTOR account asked a question about what kind of gun people prefer to use in this game. So I decided again to piggyback off of that question because that seems to work better when the general population of SWTOR people are thinking about what the official account has asked. They seem more inclined to click on a question about it. That's just how people work. And it's been a couple weeks in a row, and I've noticed that's how it happens. So I just decided to ask what your favorite pew 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 in SWTOR is. And so obviously there's 4 kinds of guns, and Twitter lets you have 4 different options. So it was perfect. So there's blaster pistol, blaster rifle, sniper rifle, and assault cannon.
Right.
And so I do not play a class that goes pew 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 at all, unless I'm coerced into doing so. So
Right.
I'm really an outsider perspective on this question. So Dekion, I am curious, with you being our guest today, where you fall on the incontrovertibly most awesome pew 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 in SWTOR.
Well, my shadows and assassins use actually probably my favorite pew 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 class is a Merc Bounty Hunter, and for him, of course, I'm using blaster pistols. And it's funny that Chill mentioned the Kingpin blaster rifle earlier, because I think the Kingpin stuff it's either forgotten about or people just don't know about it because it's part of an event.
Yeah, it's only available during that one period of time during the year, pretty much. So,
but the Kingpin blaster pistol is pretty much the closest thing to Han Solo's blaster in the game.
It's very nice, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is very nice. So I would have to say the blaster pistol.
Okay,
that one specifically.
That's cool. I can't remember what the Kingpin assault rifle looks like, or the assault cannon looks like, but I do have the sniper rifle on Nick Fury as well, the Kingpin one, and it looks a lot like the Tommy gun version of the sniper rifle. It's like a longer version of a Tommy gun, but instead of the round magazine, it has like more of a squared off magazine. So, which actually Thompson machine guns actually did use in history as well. They didn't always use the round drum, but I don't know. I always like the round drum because that's sort of like the old style Tommy gun feel. So I just prefer that one over the sniper rifle. But yeah, the blaster pistols are very nice for that Han Solo look. And I think the assault cannon is I think it's one of the ones that has like the little opening up bits towards the front, but I can't remember exactly what it looks like. Yeah, as far as my favorite, gosh. So here's the thing. I think overall, like if I'm just talking about aesthetics, I probably like the assault cannon best, and I think it's for a couple of reasons. One is they tend to have very like splashy effects on a lot of the abilities that are associated with them, but also they're big enough to really see. Like my problem with like both the pistols and like lightsabers, for instance, is like it's really hard to see you can see the blade, but you can't really see the hilt very well usually most of the time in SWTOR, especially in combat, because your arms are moving around like crazy. And it's the same with the blaster pistols. There's some really cool blaster pistols in the game. I have those. I can't remember. They have like the little diamonds on the side, and they actually have their own names, like Deceit and something else. And I have that on the Harley Quinn, my Harley Quinn cosplay, and they look really cool. But they're very small, and it's like unless you zoom in on them, it's like you're not really going to get that cool of a view. The assault cannons, however, you get to see every detail, and those things are huge. And a really good looking assault cannon is kind of amazing. And so I kind of have a soft spot for assault cannon. So I guess I will go with assault cannon. But not based on my favorite class, but just based on what I can see and how I can make it look.
The funny thing about voting on this is if you look at the options that are available to multiple classes, they get more votes than the options that are available only to one specific class.
Right.
So, when you say blaster pistol, you're appealing to gunslingers and mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
Power techs have a blaster.
Mm-hmm.
So even though some of the melee classes have blasters for more aesthetic purposes or just hitting the number one ability, you end up getting a skewed result. So 34% of the 239 people that voted on this poll did say blaster pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to break that down even further. So during the beginning of this episode, I was frantically going through my dissertation data where most people said they use lightsabers anyway. And so out of the 500 people who participated in that study, 26% of them were in personality types that were likely to have blaster classes in their top 2 or 3 options of what they would main. So then when you break that down further, you have INFPs with 51 people out of 500. So 10% of the player base. Mercenary is in their list of preferred classes. So 2 or 3 preferred classes. And then, so sticking with the introverted bent, ISFP, also 21 people out of 500 had mercenary. So lots of people like mercenaries. That's what I'm finding out. And what's not to like? You get to throw up a shield that reflects and heals you, and you don't even have to stop your rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking every little bit of me since I did PvP this week not to call all of them jerks. But it's not their fault BioWare enjoys class balance so much. And then you have ESTPs and ESTJs having classes like Operative Power Tech and Vanguard in their preferred list. So again, not much, 20 people out of 500. It's not a very high percentage. So still with a question like this, you can clearly see that lightsabers attract people to Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still really happy with the turnout for voting. And
Yeah,
I think I would just
votes.
encourage people this week to think about, does your style of weapon, does your style of abilities help you connect better with the character? I think for me, the answer is definitely yes.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't necessarily enjoy SWTOR. I enjoy playing Lightning Sorcerer, or I enjoy playing the Sith Sorcerer. I guess Jedi Sage too, when I'm feeling like causing paper cuts with tiny pebbles and flashy lights.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we got with the Mind Trap this week. So let's move along, chill, and thanks everyone. But I am actually going to have to vanish like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. But hopefully I don't die. And show up for a cameo appearance in the next episode. But sorry, spoilers, everybody. But I really do have to go. Thank you, and continue the journey.
All right, Doc. I'll look for your audio file in the email.
Got it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bye, Doc.
All right. So, Dek, you and I are going to soldier on. We have just the holo feed, and then we also have the letter from Ducky later on to go. There isn't a ton of news right now. Like I said, I was really hoping that they would announce exactly when the swoop event was going to go live. It's still on the PTS. As far as I know, they haven't taken it off. And then there's also going to be the nightlife event. And again, we've been talking about these weapons. That's where they'll be available. They are very cool. The pistols are very cool, and I love the Tommy gun for the blaster rifle. And I do think I remember liking the cannon. I can't remember exactly what it looks like. I don't think it looks like something the way the Tommy gun looks like a Tommy gun, and the way the pistols look like the Han Solo pistols. I just remember that it was kind of cool. I think, like I said, I think it's the kind that has like a couple things that open up in the front. It was kind of one of the first ones that did that. But anyway, in the news, Daniel Steed on the dev team, specifically on the community team, wrote about this event schedule for June. The event schedule has been updated for June. I say partially because we're still solidifying the release date for 6/12. Once that date has been locked in, I will update the schedule to properly reflect when the All Worlds Ultimate Swoop Rally event will be active. Interestingly, they update the schedule, but the schedule only shows a month in advance. So that's kind of hinting that the swoop race might be live by the end of June. That's not a guarantee, but it's kind of cool. It's certainly possible. So we'll see. I know the people were hoping that it would go live sometime in June, and so it seems like that's at least possible to happen. As far as the updated event schedule, let's go ahead and go over that. Double XP event is live, has been live, and is going to stay live through June 16th. And begins and ends at 11 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. GMT. So it's definitely it's a lot of fun sometimes just to like power level and just be like crazy over leveled and stuff like that. And
one thing that
go ahead.
One thing that I'm happy about is that the nightlife event's not going to overlap with the double XP event. At least it doesn't look like it in this case. Sometimes I feel guilty just sitting there in front of a slot machine knowing that I should be out doing something else.
Right.
And, doing something, rethinking my life rather than sitting on Nar Shaddaa, poking credits into a machine,
right?
Clicking.
Yep. Is there anything that you're going to be going for in the nightlife event this time?
Whatever is new. I've gotten everything in the past. The Rancor,
the Gamorrean Guard,
the Gamorrean Guard.
The Rodian, right? I forgot the Rodian. I don't think I got the Rodian last time. Yeah, I got the Gamorrean, but I didn't get the Rodian. I'll have to watch for the Rodian. There's a claw machine thing now this time. I'm still unclear as to whether it's like an actual combat companion or if it's just a gigantic pet. But
yeah, I haven't been on the PTS. Sometimes I don't want the spoiler. I just want to see it when it comes live.
I was on the PTS. I looked at there is like there is one in the corner, but even that doesn't necessarily tell me if it's like a combat companion or like I said, a gigantic pet. If it is a pet, it's the biggest pet in the game. And I can't imagine how the claw machine would actually like fight anyone, but I think it would be hilarious if it did. Yeah. Let's see. So the double XP is a lot of fun. There's a lot of people playing and a lot of people leveling, so you can use that tip that we've mentioned before. I've even brought it up several times myself, and that is to go to a PvP node, because even now they're not very heavily populated. There's typically like 7, 8, 9 people on each side, something like that, on like a typical planet. And you don't get in that many fights. Although ironically, like I almost never get into fights on PvP nodes, and yet since the last show I've gotten involved in 2 PvP fights on doing this world PvP node area. In fact, one of them was today. I was very briefly on, mostly just to pick up my command boxes, but then I had a little bit of time, so I went to ZZ, and I was on the boss, and I was on Thanos. He's a juggernaut, and a little I guess it was a shadow because it was a stealther, and it had a lightsaber, so it started beating on me. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do here? Because I had my companion Jaisa with me, and she was in damage spec because I was just trying to go get things done as fast as possible with the dailies. So yeah, I just kind of turned on the shadow and beat the snot out of him and beat him into the ground, and then went back to the boss.
Nice.
And he doesn't have like special gear or anything. He has 306 gear, so I didn't really notice if what kind of gear they had or how strong they were, but I was able to beat the snot out of him real fast, and then even though the boss was still beating on me, and then turned and killed the boss too. It was kind of amusing. But yeah, I've played the spec enough now, and I've done enough war zones that I know pretty much how to take care of things PvP wise. Like, so if someone does jump on me and I'm on any of those characters, I know what to do. So I was able to take them out pretty well. It was pretty funny, because it's like I didn't start the fight, but I will end it. Anyway, so yeah. Also going on, beyond the XP event, double XP event, is the Rakghoul Resurgence on Corellia. That's actually starting today. Should be active now, actually, because the servers are live. June 2nd through June 9th, and that's, again, going to be on Corellia. It is the return of the Rakghoul event, and that's, most people have seen it before. It's going again. There are some cool things with the Rakghoul event. Like, I think sometimes it's fun to see the the really creepy like companion customizations, stuff like that. I think that's actually pretty cool. Also, if you have like one of the poison specs, like the virulence sniper, stuff like that, or maybe a dot spec, like a madness orc, something like that. There's a lot of sort of like biohazard suit kind of gear that they have. So if you want that kind of, poisonous, hazardous task sort of look to your character, there's a lot of armor that from Thorn that looks like that. And then finally, Bounty Contract Week is going to be coming up later in June. That's going to be June 16th through June 23rd. And that one happens on multiple planets. And that was actually, speaking of, 6.1.1b, which will be the last one before 6.1.2, or at least the last scheduled one, is now active. It was the update for today before they made the servers go back live. The patch notes were super easy, super basic. There's only one thing on them. Fix several issues involving the bounty contract in-game event that prevented players from completing it. So apparently there's multiple bugs causing errors there. That was the only thing in the patch notes, though. So that was apparently the big deal that they worked on. But yeah, so hopefully when the Bounty Contract Week comes back, again, that's June 16th to June 23rd, it will now work. And shortest patch notes ever. I can't. And there's really only a couple other little things that have come up. We mentioned on the last show about the buying cartel coins bug. There's this weird bug that sort of comes up, and what's happening is there's like a credentials are incorrect error, and it is a bug. It's not really. There's a way to fix it, and it's there for other reasons. But in this case, you're getting this credentials are incorrect error erroneously, and it's keeping people from buying cartel coins. So if that happens, there's a link in the show notes as to how you fix the credentials are incorrect error if that's happening to you. But yeah, so if that is happening, apparently it's still coming up once in a while. There is a workaround. And then finally, and I think you might be interesting to hear your take on this, Deck. The new Star Wars Funko Pop. And there's 4 of them that are coming out, but I'm only going to mention 2 of them because they are KOTOR/SWTOR related. Revan has a Funko Pop, and also Darth Malak. So both more, I would say, Knights of the Old Republic oriented, because, well, of course, Malak really is KOTOR related. And then the Revan look that they chose is more the KOTOR look rather than one of the ones from when he returned in SWTOR. But yeah, and it's pretty cool looking. What do you think?
I like it. I have the Black Series Revan, and so this would be a nice addition to that collection.
Nice. What is the Black? What would you say were some of the differences for the Black Series from this one?
It's just a regular figure. It's not a Funko Pop.
Oh, okay. Oh, that Black Series. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. So yeah, to me it's like amazing like how popular Funko Pops have gotten. They have them for like practically every IP out there now. It's like crazy how much people love them. Something about those big square oversized heads that people just adore.
if you've ever been a character on any television show or even a commercial, you've probably got a Funko Pop.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? It's even and it doesn't have to be like sci-fi. They've even got like regular sitcoms and stuff like that have them. It's kind of kind of crazy. Anyway, so yeah, if you like Revan, you wanted a Funko Pop or Darth Malak, they are in pre-order right now. And there we go. That'll bring us to the Force feedback, and we've got the big letter from Ducky. Did you want to go over this, Dekion, or did you want me to read out how would you prefer to handle this one?
No, go for it.
All right. Well, we got the letter from Ducky, and Ducky does usually handle the Duck Hunt /Utini 500, which is really awesome of him. And Ducky writes, "Hey, finally figured remember to send in info for the to the UtiniCast about the next Duck Hunt /500 event. It is also on the UtiniGuilds.com website events calendar for June 20th, so that's also happening this month, and will be updated with the prize list later on. Here's a copy-paste of what's currently posted. And please note that this is on the Satil Shan server, and /cjoinutini if they're not part of the guild and would like to participate. So that's also how you actually join the guild if you want to join the guild. And we mention this at the end of every show, is you do a /cjoinutini, you ask to join the guild. But also if you just want to join a guild event, but you don't necessarily want to join the guild at this time, you can also /cjoinutini just to chat with the Utini people, and and then we can let you in on individual events that do not require guild, being in the guild.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So Ducky continues then, and this is where the actual event info starts. Welcome to another round of the Duck Hunt and Utini 500. And we may even toss in the bare knuckle brawling. The Duck Hunt will be on Drum and Koss, and you'll be looking for Jadum, ZZ''HA''DUM. She will be logging in at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific U.S. time. There will be announcements within Guild Chat, as well as Utini Chat, and in Discord voice. The first clue is scheduled 15 minutes past the hour, with the option of every 5 minutes after that. Prizes will be given to the first 3 people to find her. So yeah, that's the Duck Hunt. We've done this multiple times. We've done it on Rishi, among other places. And basically, yeah, so Jadum will be hiding somewhere on the map. Usually the rules are that they're not stealthed or anything like that. They're just kind of hard to find, kind of out of the way.
Right.
Usually out of line of sight of where you'd normally be, stuff like that. So they found some tricky place to be, and we're gonna have to go find her. And then, assuming it's usually pretty difficult to find them, and then the clues definitely help. Usually, once the clues come in, usually the clock is ticking at that point. People are pretty good at finding them after that.
Right.
So. The Utini 500 will commence after that, and the race course will be told just before the race starts, because we've done this also on multiple planets. And and it's kind of nice to not have people scout out the racetrack ahead of time, that sort of thing.
It does help to have.
Yeah. Anticipate. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It does help to have a character that has the planet open, though.
Yeah. Anticipating the starting line at the starport, and it helps to have all of Drum and Koss map explored. So we do know the planet it'll be on, but the exact race course is not yet told. 2 classes are normal. There's usually a speeder rank 3 and a speeder rank 5, and then the first 3 finishers from each rank also get a pick from the prize table. I don't see it here, but I did ask Ducky about this, and apparently you're not allowed to use any amplifiers that alter your mount speed. So if you have any, you're required to take those off before the start of the race, because otherwise people are racing with different speeds. So there you go.
Right. We had some lessons learned during our last one, which was after the patch.
Makes sense. Yeah. And it'd be, I can see I don't know, maybe a frog dog outfit or something like that, and then doing it as a racing, outfit, and putting as many mount speed golds as you can get.
Right.
And getting plus 20% or whatever it would add up to. That would be pretty awesome. All right. So like I said, first 3 finishers from each rank will also get a pick from the prize table. So you need to have at least a speeder rank 3, which means you either need to be level 35 or you need to be willing to unlock it below that. And it's on Drum and Koss, so if you're willing to unlock speeder rank 3 or 5, you could be lower level. That would be totally cool. And then time-depending further options would be a world boss kill and or bare knuckles brawling. This would be the second round of bare knuckles, and here's the lessons from the first. Everyone will be invited into the stronghold on Rishi to use the smaller arena zone for 1v1 fights. You have to remove the bolsterizer buff if it has been applied. No gear. You can space Barbie, that's fine, but no equipment on the character. No healing. This is a knockdown, hair-pulling, smack your opponent around fight. And all participants will do a roll to determine placement on opponents. Fights will be done in sequential order, and will continue to loop through if there's an odd number of participants. And then prizes will be given to first, second, and third place. Once all activities are complete, anyone who hasn't had a go at the prize table will be given a pass to pick something. And so everyone gets something. And Ducky gets to laugh his ass off because he likes to just have fun. The prize table will be a number of items not included previously, and as usual will include armor sets, mounts, emotes, weapons, decorations, and a number of other miscellaneous items. The item list will follow. And that's awesome. And Ducky has had some pretty amazing prizes in the past. A lot of really, like, not just like cheapo mounts, but like actual like creature mounts. Really, some pretty unusual weapons. Armor sets, even stuff like that. All the toys, all those cool things. So there's been some really nice gifts. In fact, the reason I have the Womp Rat mount unlocked on my characters is because I originally got it it wasn't the bare knuckle, but it was like just a fighting one. It was like a PvP one that we did, and I did well. I think I got like second overall or something like that, and I chose the Womp Rat, and so yeah.
Right, and it's not always stuff from the cartel market. I think my prize last time was the full 14-piece set of the MK11.
Like augments?
Yeah, the MK11 augments.
Wow.
Which those are still going pretty good on our augment kits. They're still going pretty good on the GTN. So that was nice.
Yeah. Well, the augment kits, they take quite a bit to get this time around, and so they're very expensive. So that would be really nice too. In fact, I think one of the ways I've been making a lot of credits is I've been selling crit augments a fair bit. That's not the only thing I've been doing, but one of the ways I've been making a fair bit of credits is I've been selling crit augments that my banking alt makes, and she, I can't remember. It takes like 5 of the embers, and it takes a bunch of stuff. But they go for like roughly 5 million credits a piece. I mean, and if you need 14, that's a lot of credits overall. So. Yeah, and even just the kits themselves are quite expensive too if you can't make them.
Right, especially when you're talking 14. Even if they're, 800,000 a piece or something, which I think there's still probably more.
Yeah.
That's still over 10 million credits that prize was worth.
That's pretty awesome.
And a huge kudos to Ducky for that. None of those prizes are guild sponsored. He does that all on his own.
Wow.
Which is amazing. That he wants to do that.
Yeah, Ducky's fun. All right, is there anything else that you'd want to add about the upcoming events?
This Friday we're going to be doing the Eyeless, followed up by
for the Rakghoul.
Yep, that was they just
makes sense.
Announced that today, so that's going to get thrown in, and then we'll continue on to Dread Palace over on the Utini Knight side.
Okay.
Upside.
Right, because you did both on the Empire side, and now you've done one, but you're going to do the other on the Republic side. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was fun. It's been fun doing the tanking on the last few weeks, so it feels good. We've done a lot of almost no deaths, like no wipes through these places, so it feels really good. I mean, it's not like we're a real ops group. This is guild, and it's sort of pug almost, because anyone can kind of sign up to join in. It's meant to just be fun. I mean, everyone hopes to succeed, but it's more meant to be a guild event than it is to be, it's not meant to be hardcore.
Right. It's a learning event, and we really want to embrace the folks that are either reactivating and are just coming back into SWTOR after several years, or are new players. And we've had a couple of those in each run that was their first op, and so we have to keep reassuring them, it's okay, don't worry, we've all wiped on this boss before. Or we've all had to say, hey guys, can you slow down, I need to swap out my armor so the next armor I get's a little higher. Every one of us has done that. We had to, just to get up to our 306. And we've got a couple of guys in the guild that are amazing at explaining in detail each of the mechanics and each of the boss fights and what's important and what's not important. And so I think that really kind of gives new players a really good foundation if they want to get into in-game operations.
Yeah. I've been really enjoying seeing those again. When Tio and I were doing, actual operation and doing the harder versions, but that's been, that's years now since I've really seen these with any sort of regularity. So it's been really nice. And the story versions are definitely easier, but that's okay too, because I definitely am happy to do the story mode at this point, and we can worry about hard modes some other time when we're not doing Jar Jar Joyride, which, like I say, is just is meant to be the fun, fun pickup guild event sort of thing. So
just a super casual, fun Friday night.
Yeah. All right. Well, if is there anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, then. That's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to utinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @UtiniCast. You can find contact details for all of us on our website, utinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays, usually at noon Pacific. Go to utinicast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room, and thanks, Dek.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll plan on being there on Friday, and we'll see if we can't do the eyeless. That's a moderately tricky fight, actually. That can be a lot of fun with all the puddles and everything. So I'm looking forward to that one.
16.
Yeah. All right, and we'll see you next show. Thanks everyone for coming. And we'll see you next time. Let me go ahead and stop the stream and stop the recording.